Can you hear me? Oh, brilliant. Hi, Dan. Hi, everyone. I'm Kerry from Brinkworth Dairy. We have a farm in Brinkworth. We make our cheese on the farm, so we use the milk really fresh. It's not cooled before we're using it. It goes straight to the pasteurizer, and then we can turn it into our cheeses. My great-grandfather made cheese on this farm in 1910, and then in 2005, I started making cheese here myself. We make a Wiltshire loaf. Oh, hello, Carol. Hello, Charlotte. We make a Wiltshire loaf, which is a hard cheese. We make 2 blue cheeses, Royal Basset Blue and Brinkworth Blue. So for years, people have been crying out for a brie. We needed to make a brie. And finally, during lockdown, we managed to develop our brie. And because we live close to my favourite henge in Wiltshire, which is Avebury, we named our brie Avebury. That's a little pun for you. But in fact, this cheese is more similar to a camembert. The difference between a brie and a camembert is mainly the size. And a brie is a large flat cheese that's very creamy, and a camembert tends to be one that's smaller and has much more intense flavours. And when I developed this cheese, I want it to be one that's going to win massive awards. So I want it to be really exciting flavoured cheeses. Hello, Nike. Hello, Lizzie. You've just tasted a really strong cheese. So I would strongly recommend that you get an apple or some water to cleanse your palate, to allow your palate to refresh so that you can taste this cheese. Just like Dan said, you need to look at the cheese and what can you see on the outside rind. I've brought 2 here for me to taste, one that's younger and has got that fluffy white rind, and that comes from the Geotrichum candida mould that I add to it. And I've also brought a more mature, exciting one for me to taste as well. Lots of flavour. This cheese would go very well with pesto or apricots and almonds and crusty bread. So you've got the contrast of the soft, creamy, oozy cheese and then the texture, the crunch from the bread. And drinks-wise, Camembert comes from Normandy, where they have apples and make cider, so it would go really well with cider or Pilsner. Dry white wines are very good because the acidity cuts through the fat. And I think the best drink to have with this, guys, let's celebrate my favourite drink. Let's crack open the bubbly and have some champagne or some sparkling rosé wine. I think that would be great. When you cut your soft cheese, you're meant to use either a spreading knife, because it's so soft, or if you've got those fancy knives with the holes in, they're good, because then it stops it sticking to it. So you've seen the cheese, then you need to sniff the cheese. I get quite a lot of mushrooms coming through on that, and there's quite an umami smell coming from the rind, and almost truffles as well. Have a look at your cheese. You can see that it's very soft and oozy. That's right, Will, just oozy, just inside the rind. And then almost like a fluffy mousse-like texture in the centre. And if you give your cheeses a squeeze when you're tasting them, that helps get you to judge the texture, but it'll also help to warm it up a little bit more. I hope you all got your cheese boards out an hour before the tasting to bring them up to room temperature. But if you didn't, don't worry, squeeze it and that'll bring it up to temperature and you can get a good taste. The centre of the cheese is going to taste different from the edge, so you can taste those separately to get the different flavours. Oh, all gone, Mary! Oh, my goodness. We'll have to get you some more from Dan's Deli next time. Okay. So it's quite fresh and clean, quite citrusy coming through there. It's very well balanced. Oh, you've eaten it all as well. Good. Easily done. I'm going to have a little bit more of that too. I just wish I'd thought ahead and got the champagne out as well and could have told you for sure how that pairs. Oh, thank you, Paul. Mind you, Paul, I don't know if I trust your taste judge, because didn't you like number 2 as well? Oh, Lucy, thank you. Lovely, yeah. Brilliant. So to make this cheese, I use lots and lots of different cultures. I could have made a very simple cheese, but I just decided to make it quite complex. I've got 2 different starter cultures, 3 different ripening cultures, and also a couple that I add in there just to give those brassica flavours, to get that more complex flavour coming through. And we're really excited by this cheese, and we're thrilled to be able to launch it with Deli Dan tonight on his inaugural YouTube Fancy Pants Studio broadcast. That was brilliant. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Thanks, Dan. That's great. And we are... What does Sharon say? Oh, Sharon's eaten it all as well. Lovely. What did you guys put it with? What were you drinking it with? Does it... Because I haven't got any alcohol here myself, so did you have it with some white wine? You ate it quickly? Yeah, because it's good. If you have it with red wine, that can overpower it, so I wouldn't recommend putting in red wine with it. Thank you, my scrummy brie. Thank you, Natalie. Yeah, and I think you are all going to have to do a lot of walking after tonight, but don't blame it all on Avebury. You've got a few more cheeses to go yet. Gin, yes. Oh, I wonder which gin especially goes with it. I've done gin tastings with my other cheeses, the Wiltshire Loaf, the Brinkworth Blue, the Royal Basset Blue, but I haven't done a gin tasting with the Avebury yet to find out what that goes well with. With rhubarb? With rhubarb? Well, I suppose that could work quite well. Like I said, the apricots would go with it, that fruitiness to go with the citrusy flavours. That's going to go well. Yes, English white wine, great idea. Well, there's a lot in the terroir, the linking of the soil, the pastures, the grass, the cheese, and the soil that's also growing the grapes. So linking together where the cheese is made and a wine being made in the same region. So maybe the English white wine would be good. There's some great English sparkling wines out there as well. There's a new vineyard, I think it's called Bluestone Vineyard, in mid-Wiltshire. I'd be excited to pair this one with. But this Shiraz. Oh, hello, Rachel. Tanqueray gin. Yeah, great idea. Well, I was going to give you a little tour of the dairy. Are we up for that? If I see a thumbs up from Deli Dan, I'll give you a little tour of the dairy. He gives me a thumbs up. I'm going to my ripening rooms, and you can see some gorgeous Wiltshire loaves ripening. It's going to go dark for a little bit. Don't be alarmed. I forgot to plan ahead and turn on all the lights. Did you guys used to watch Challenge Annika? Anybody young enough for Challenge Annika? That's Kerry tonight running through. Some lights there. Made on the 2nd of June. And I've got some experimental cheeses over there. Dan, you'll have to try these. These have been ripening for 2 years, look.